This is how you can free yourself from the financial slavery that our system has placed on us. Hey everybody, this is Corey Jones with Truth-Based Wealth here. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to get ourselves out of that system that is enslaving us financially and free ourselves so that we can take back control of our own money and the choices that we have from it, and not give so much of it up to the banking systems and the government and everyone else that is trying to take our money. We're in the biggest transfer of wealth now than we have ever been, from the regular innocent working class people to those that are in power and those that control the monetary system in our world, in our country, so that they can slowly keep taking more and more from us. And what I'm going to introduce to you today, the infinite banking concept, is a way that we can take back control of our money so that we can provide for our family and future generations without having to worry about all those things going on in the world, where we have 100% of all the money that we earn in our lives and we control all of it, and all of that revolves back around in our own community, in our own family. That money is not going to be taken away from us and used for who knows what that the government is telling us that they're using it for. Do you honestly think that every single dollar that they're taking is being used for a good cause? Because it's not. It just simply isn't. Before I get into what the infinite banking concept is, I would like to mention a few things that the infinite banking concept is not. Because there's a lot of people out there that have heard about the infinite banking concept and has seen it as kind of a hot button or a hot topic, and wanted to talk about it to get some hype or to, have some clickbait on a video or whatever. And they take it and use it for their own selfish purposes, for selling a product or to advertise something to you, again, to sell something that is for personal gain for themselves. And they don't actually really know what the infinite banking system is, or the infinite banking concept really is. And they're just trying to use that and show you that as something that's great, that's going to benefit you and help you. But really what they're doing is just trying to get more notoriety, get more status for themselves, or make more money from themselves by selling you a product. So what I want to be clear on the infinite banking concept here is the infinite banking concept is, one, not a product. Most people associate it with life insurance, mainly whole life insurance, or if some people even universal life insurance, or the different types of universal life insurance. It is not a product. And the infinite banking concept is not some get-rich-quick scheme. The infinite banking concept is a way to manage your finances and take back control over the money that you have in your life. And it's a way of thinking. Just like any financial product out there or money management system out there, it's up to you to have the right behaviors and to take the right actions and be disciplined for yourself to make it work. If you try to cheat yourself or abuse whatever system or manipulate the rules to fit your own selfish needs, you're going to lose money and fail at whatever your goals are in trying to be. You need to be honest with yourself in how you're managing your money and the things that you're teaching yourself and the goals that you're trying to accomplish in order to truly succeed. The infinite banking concept is, or was, created by the late R. Nelson Nash. He wrote a book called Becoming Your Own Banker in the early 2000s, detailing out what the infinite banking concept is. He came up with the term, and he discovered the ability to be able to do this, but this is something that people had been doing for hundreds of years, well over 100 years at this point, and families have been doing this. The wealthiest families in the world, the wealthiest families in the nation, had been practicing these money management principles through generations. And what Nelson Nash did was not only bring it to light in front of the mainstream audience of just regular people like you and me, who can use this same management tool to better grow their wealth for their future and really set up their future generations to, again, be more free in when it comes to having control over your own money. And Nelson Nash was just the one who really optimized it and took it to the next level and refined it to where we get the most efficient use out of it. And people who really truly follow in Nelson Nash's footsteps to teach this infinite banking concept are furthering that mission of helping you be more efficient with your money and help you take back more control over your finances in your life. To paraphrase something that Nelson Nash talked about, is that the infinite banking concept is a solution to a problem. The problem of what's going on in this world, the problem that the government and the banking systems are taking and are stealing all of our money and taking it for themselves. It's learning how to take back control of your own money so that your money is under your own management of yourself and your family. It is about creating your own banking system just like the banks would, or behaving like the banks would, but doing it in an honest way for your family so that you can benefit from that and stop losing all this money, or start keeping more of the money that you make and stop giving it up to other people. And so does Nelson Nash use life insurance for the infinite banking concept? Yes he does, because he realized that not just any life insurance, but a very specifically designed type of participating whole life insurance was the only tool that freed us from this slavery that we are under. He stated that the life insurance contract is a free contract between other free individuals. No other system out there can do the same thing as participating whole life insurance can. Not your 401ks, your IRAs, your government sanctioned retirement plans, no stocks or investments, no savings account at a bank, whether high yield or not, no money market accounts. None of those can do the same that a specifically designed participating whole life insurance policy can, that is designed for your specific needs. And again, the infinite banking concept isn't just about an insurance policy. It's about the way you manage your money. You can do this with or without an insurance policy. You can do this just with the money that you have in your hands, in your pocket. But it's going to be so much more efficient. You're going to get so much more benefits and tools that you can benefit from by using a specifically designed whole life insurance policy. The problem that Nelson Nash was trying to solve, and realized that like I said, other wealthy families were already solving was that the government is stealing money from us more and more each year through taxes, and that the banking system is stealing more and more money from us. That is the hidden tax, is inflation. They're stealing more and more from us each and every single day as they create more money out of thin air. The infinite banking concept is a solution to these problems. Look at everything going around in the world today. Can you honestly tell yourself that you trust everything that the media, the government, is telling you, including big companies, the banking systems themselves, and so many other things? We have to question everything that we hear today because just so much of it is not true. Having your money in a savings account at a bank is contributing to the problem of inflation. Every loan that you take out from a bank or federal credit union is contributing to the problem of inflation. Because if you understand how inflation really works, it's not just printing money like everybody thinks it is, or it's not just, the markets increasing their prices of everything. That's the symptoms, that's the effect of inflation. But true inflation comes from the corrupt banking system. What bankers realized thousands of years ago was that the many people that are depositing their money with them for safekeeping, that only a few people at a time would actually come to take out their money in order to use it for something. You're not having every single person all at once coming to take out their money and then their warehouse is left with no money. Only a few people come to get it at a time. So what the bankers realized is that, when they started handing out these notes, because like the physical precious metals, the gold and the silver and the jewels and whatever they had as the store of their wealth, that was represented by a piece of paper, a note that was backed by the bank, stating you had X amount of money in their warehouse, in their system. And what they realized they could do is they could start writing extra notes on money that wasn't actually there when people came to borrow money from the bank or withdraw money from the bank. They would give out these fake notes to people in order to keep more of the money for themselves. They would give out fake notes to themselves so that rather than them having to earn any money for themselves, they realized that people are just relying on these notes in order to exchange with one another in the markets, which was a good thing. It was an easy way, rather than carrying around chests full of gold and other precious metals in order to pay for their goods and services. It was so much easier to just carry around a promissory note. And for those people in the banking system that were honest, that kept our free markets stable, because people were honestly exchanging with one another. But then when these corrupt, and I will say evil, bankers decided to start making themselves more notes than what was actually on reserves in their warehouses, then they realized that they could do this as much as they want and purchase as many goods and services as they wanted to without actually having to make any money for themselves or have any money for themselves. And after doing this so much, there was more of these notes, dollars, in circulation than there was in actual physical precious metals. And because of that increased money supply, the merchants that were selling their goods and services naturally had to raise their prices in order to keep up with the amount of people that were coming to purchase their goods and services, because their goods and services were slowly being devalued And that is what true inflation is that when someone comes to take out money or take out a loan from a bank in today's world, they're not just going, oh, well, we have, say, we'll say for easy number's sake, we have $1 million in the bank. Someone wants to take out $10,000. Oh, we now have $990,000 in the bank that we can lend out to other people. They don't deduct that $10,000 from their balance sheet. Their balance sheet remains at $1 million. They just hand you that $10,000 that you want to take in a loan. And what happens to that? That money gets deposited right back into that very same bank that lent it to you, or another bank, which is all part of the same system anyways. So that is how money is truly created, is when the bank loans out money, that is just an excuse for them, and this is done legally nowadays anyways. This is what was signed into law in 1913 with the Federal Reserve Act, is that this dishonest, this evil, corrupt way of banking where people are creating fake notes and handing them out without actually having any money for themselves was made legal in 1913. And so now, when people take loans out from a bank, they don't deduct that money from the bank's reserves. They just add that money now to the bank account. So now, instead of having $1 million, they now have $1 million and 10,000. That is how inflation works. It's not just a printing press that prints out more dollars. It's how the Federal Reserve gets us everyday citizens to contribute to inflation. Is every time we save our money in a bank, that gives them permission to then loan that money out 10 times or more than what we put in. We put in $1,000, that gives them the right to loan out $10,000 or more. And when they loan out that money, that is the creation of new money. So we are, by saving our money in a savings account at a bank, not a checking account, because checking accounts, they have to keep immediately liquid. Whatever you have in a checking account needs to be there on a moment's notice when you come to, withdraw some of it on a day-to-day basis for paying for your groceries or paying for your bills or whatever it may be. So they know they can't really touch that because you're guaranteed to come and use that at some point very soon. But your savings account, that is meant to be put there for a long-term period of time. Yeah, you might come back and take some out, but if you've noticed that banks don't keep a lot of money around, you go to a bank and say, I need to take $5,000 out of my savings account because I have a one-time purchase that I have a need for now. They're like, hang on, we don't have that for you right now. You're going to have to fill out a form and come back in a few days or next week so we can get that money to you. But isn't that my money that I put in there, that I'm saving in there? Well, no. When you put your money in a savings account, you're contracted with the bank to allow them to lend that out to other people. And when they lend that out to other people, that is creating new dollars. That is furthering the inflation problem that we have in America. And really, over every central banking system around the world, that's how that works. So every time you put your money in a savings account, and every time you put your money, every time that you loan out money from a bank, you're contributing to that inflationary practice. And in an ideal world, people would be freely exchanging their money with each other in an honest form of banking, not involving the federal banking system that we have today. And if all of us did that, then they would not be able to inflate our dollars, or at least not to the degree that they do today. We're just freely allowing them to do that by going along with this system that they created. If we could freely contract with one another to exchange money and to help our money grow and do business with each other, then our money would hold its value for a much longer time. It would not inflate our money. The infinite banking concept is a solution to those problems that we're having. Because, and I'll give the example of just having money for ourselves. And if we saved up our money for ourselves, every dollar that we earned, if we saved a portion of that, say 10, 20, 30%, or even more, if we saved a portion of that for ourselves, we can build up a large enough pool of money amongst our own selves and our own personal lives that when we need to have money for a big one-time expense, say whether it's buying a car or going on vacation or buying a home or starting a business or making an investment that's going to make you more money, if we had that money ourselves, then we would not need to loan out from the bank, being charged interest to the bank, and contributing to that inflationary process. We'd be able to fund that ourselves. And any of our family members, especially ones that you trust, obviously. I wouldn't loan out to Uncle Tom over there that is known to gamble and be irresponsible with his money. No, I'd loan it out to my brother or my mother or my child that I know is responsible with their money. I know is going to pay me back. And when we borrow that money from ourselves, from our own banking system that we create, we then be an honest banker and repay ourselves back that money over time. We set ourselves a schedule. Then we can be flexible with it because it's our own money. But we set ourselves up a repayment schedule to back to our own savings, back to our own banking system, the money that we are keeping for ourselves. Repay that on a schedule just like you would to the regular banking system, and do that with interest. But you're paying yourself interest so that you are getting the interest. And yes, that is just a forced savings account. You could just pay yourself back what you had before, but then you wouldn't be growing your money. You would just be using that money and having to replenish that up as you worked harder over time. And especially when we can get together with other individuals that are doing this, other family members and friends that are saving our money up, pooling this money up together, and when someone needs that money, we loan out that money to them for it to be repaid back in interest, then we're all going to be growing our money together, and our money is going to be out of that system that's contributing to inflation, that is taking your money from you and you never see it again. When it's your own system that you're repaying back to, that is your money coming back to you. That is what is infinite about the infinite banking system, is that is your own money coming back to you so that you can then go out and use again. So when you take a loan from your own personal banking system, it's not just to frivolously spend more because you have it. It's not just to buy that fancy car because you want it. It's to invest in yourself, invest into your own growth. Now, yes, you can use it to go on a vacation now and then, or to buy those things that you need now and then, but you gotta make sure you pay yourself back with interest. You just gotta know that that is going to consumption and not growing your wealth. So the infinite banking concept is about keeping more of the money that you make working for you within your own personal economy. It's about creating your own banking system. You're not just opening up your own banking building. Other random people can come in and deposit money with you and borrow money out from you. You're practicing the functions of banking within your own personal life, within your own family, and keeping that in your family. So it's practicing the honest functions of banking that is going to free ourselves from that financial slavery that our Federal Reserve, our banking system, our government, our society has taught us how to do, has taken control over for us. And this isn't going to happen overnight or even within just a few years. This is something that's going to take a significant amount of time to really build up before you're completely detached from that system. While you're building up your own wealth within your own banking system, you'll still need to borrow money from another bank for your needs, for your needs of financing things. You're still going to need to maybe save a little bit of money in there because that is the convenient place to put it for now. So we're not saying like all your money that you have in the bank now or in your retirement plan or the loans that you have to get rid of them and just put it all into this banking system right now. You want this to gradually happen over time, and it might take decades to do. But eventually your goal is to have all of your money and all of your family's money to be in your own private banking system that you've created so that you can freely keep your money where you know it's safe and lend out money to people who you trust that is going to pay you back, including your own self, lending money out to your own self. And if you diligently work at this is a long-term play for yourself. This is no get-rich-quick scheme. This is a real thing that you can do that benefits yourself and benefits your family. If you do this over a long enough period of time, you'll eventually be able to come to yourself, to your own family banking system for all of your financial needs. Everybody needs to purchase a home, to buy a car, to pay for education, to buy groceries, whatever the financial needs is that you have. Your family can eventually come to your own private banking system for those needs rather than having to contract with the corrupt banking system that is out there. And if you start now, the earlier you start, the more time that you have for this to work, so that your future generations, your kids, your grandkids, will never have to contract with these corrupt bankers ever again. Your kids will not have to know what it's like to have their money stolen from them for who knows what is out there. Who knows what they're doing with your money. Your family can come to your own banking system for all the financial needs they have. And the reason why we use specifically designed participating whole life insurance contracts is because these companies are mutually held companies, meaning that the policy owners, us, that have contracts with them, that have policies with them, we are partial owners in the company. It's our money in there that we are controlling, we are doing what we want with, and that is growing for us. It is a free contract between other free individuals. The life insurance company does not contribute to inflation. They do not loan out more money than they have on reserves. They do not create money out of thin air. Life insurance companies have historically been known for their stability. They, unlike the banking system, which if you look at since the 2008 recession, over 500 banks, well over 500 banks since 2008 have failed, have gone out of business. People have lost their money in that. Yeah, you're backed by the FDIC for $250,000 dollars. But if you're got your money in just a small bank, how long is that money going to take to get back to you, if it does get back to you? When banks collapse, you're stuck in a position where you can't access your money when you need to. Life insurance companies have been the most stable financial institution this world has ever seen. For over 180 years now, these mutually held life insurance companies, and I'm not saying all life insurance companies, but these few select mutually held life insurance companies that have been around for well over 100 years, 180 years for some of them, have consistently, every single year, been profitable. And because you are a partial owner in the company as a policy holder with whole life insurance, then you get to participate in the growth of the company and get dividends from the company. When the company profits money, you make a portion of that profit in dividends going back to you for whatever you want. And these companies have consistently been profitable and paid out dividends to their policyholders every single year without fail for 180 years. What business can you think of that has that same track record? If you knew a business has consistently been profitable for 180 years, never lost money, ever, would you want to be a partner in that business? That business that you know is guaranteed to grow, is going to always be there? That is why we use participating whole life insurance contracts with these specific mutually held life insurance companies, because we know that they're stable. The purpose of a life insurance company with these whole life insurance policies is to transfer risk from you, the individual that owns the policy, to the company. The company is taking on risk and guaranteeing that as long as you pay your annual premiums, which are consistent and do not increase as the years go on, even as inflation increases out there around you, you're paying a consistent premium every single year. As long as you're paying your premiums, that you're guaranteed a death benefit that passes on to your loved ones, whoever your beneficiary is, when you die. And that death benefit that passes on is far more than the amount that you ever put into the premiums in there. And like I said, the infinite banking concept doesn't have to use these whole life insurance contracts. There's just no better place in this world to save your money. And I'll say that again. There's no better place in the world to save your money, to keep your money, because you're not investing your money into whole life insurance policies. This is not an investment. An investment naturally has risk. This is a savings, just like a savings account, but instead of at a bank, it is within your own contract, your own life insurance contract. And it legally cannot be considered an investment because there is zero risk having your money in a whole life insurance contract. Guaranteed. That is in the contract. There is nowhere else that you can get zero risk with a guarantee that you're always going to be profiting and growing your money with this company, because you're a business partner with a company that has been profitable for over 180 years, or well over 100 years for most of these mutually held life insurance companies. But even if you're not using whole life insurance policy, the principles and the concepts that we teach of the infinite banking concept stay the same. It's to create your own personal banking system that you can use for your own family. And so, and there's other people that might convince you that this is just another investment and they'll say, well, why would you put your money in whole life insurance, which, yeah, may be guaranteeing your growth at a smaller percentage, when you could invest it in these stocks or this mutual fund over here and get a much higher percentage, or into real estate and get a much higher percentage. It's not an either or situation. This is a saving. Think of this as a savings account. This is where you're keeping your money for a long-term use, and that money is going to stay there and earn money at the same time, while you can then go use it for whatever investments that you want. If you want to put it into stocks or mutual funds, go ahead and do that. If you want to put it into real estate, go ahead and do that. If you want to invest it in your business or someone else's business, go ahead and do that. But you are able to do both. Your money is going to be consistently guaranteed growing over here inside the policies, and at the same time you're going to be able to borrow from that and use it to invest and make more money over here. So you're making money in two places at once. When you borrow money from the policies, it's going to be at a lower interest rate than you're making money with. Currently, my contract says I can borrow as much money as I want from my policy at 5% interest, which several years ago, when banks were loaning you out 2% or money for 2% interest, yeah, it was a little bit more in interest, but I had full control over that money. And especially nowadays, when interest rates are 7, 8% or higher to borrow money from, if you can borrow money from, which within a whole life insurance policy, there is no underwriting that comes to that. You have guaranteed rights to borrow that money, no questions asked, no credit checks, no underwriting. You can borrow that money and go out to use for whatever you want. So if I borrow that money out from my policy at 5%, I'm going to go invest that money in somewhere else where I'm making more than 5%, 10%, 15%, wherever that may be, so that I am making a spread on that money. I'm making, say, 10% on that money in my investment over here, and I pay 5% back in interest to the insurance company that I'm borrowing money from, my own policy that I'm borrowing money from. And all the while, my money continues to grow over here at the same time while I'm making more money with it over here. So you end up making more money by having it in this policy, by making money here and here, rather than if you would have, even though you're paying interest back to the policy, you're still making more money that way than you would by just using your cash to invest in whatever investment that is and not having to pay interest back to someone else. And in learning these concepts that I am teaching is what gave me the realization of how much I needed to use these specifically designed participating whole life insurance policies to make every dollar that I keep be that much more efficient for me, where I can use that money whenever I want to, for whatever I want to borrow and invest in myself in my own business, or invest in someone else's business that I believe is going to grow, or lend out to someone else that I trust. I have the control to use it for whatever I want inside this contract of whole life insurance, and that money is still going to grow in there for me while I'm using it for other things, effectively giving your dollar two jobs at once. It is growing inside the policy, and it is growing and being used for whatever else you're using it for outside the policy. And while your money is inside that policy, it grows 100% tax-free because it is not in the market or in the government. It is not controlled by the government. Your money grows in that 100% tax-free, and you are never required at any time to withdraw that money out and pay taxes to the government. That money can stay in there for the rest of your life. You being able to use it whenever you want, tax-free, for the rest of your life. And when you die, that money, no ifs, ands, or buts, gets passed on to your beneficiaries, your future generations, 100% tax-free. And then they can use that money for themselves that they got tax-free to then put into another whole life insurance policy, mutually contracting with other free people to grow that money 100% tax-free for the rest of their lives. So tax-free money is coming in, and tax-free money is being used to grow more tax-free money. And that cycle can continue over and over for all of your future generations by practicing the concepts of the infinite banking concept in your life and using a whole life insurance policy to get all these other benefits that you get, and for your money to be much more efficient and to get all these other benefits that you get. That's why we use participating whole life insurance. That's why I chose to use participating whole life insurance. I did not come into this because, oh, I want to make some extra money and sell participating whole life insurance, so I'm going to get a contract for myself. No. I've had my own policy for over 5 years now. So does my wife. We are about to have a child later this year, our first child. And 2 weeks after it's born is when we can first legally take out a policy on our child, and we are more than happy to put as much money into that policy as we possibly can, so our future child has money growing for them tax-free for the rest of their lives that they can use for whatever their needs are later on in their lives. And whether we use a policy or not, we're still going to be keeping our money in our own system that we're creating. I am only 5 years into this journey myself. I've got much more to do to fully free myself from this corrupt system that we have. But I'm going to continue on with this journey, and you are going to come on with this journey with me, whether you're just watching me do it or you're joining me as well to do it. I'm on the path to financial freedom, and the infinite banking concept itself, or whole life insurance policies themselves, are not going to get me financially free. I am going to get me financially free. I am just going to be much more efficient with my money by using whole life insurance contracts. I am going to take more control over my finances, my money, by using the principles in the infinite banking concept, rather than just letting other people manage my money, letting other people take control of my money, because when I do that, they're the ones that are benefiting from that, not myself. That is why I am practicing the infinite banking concept, and I am using whole life insurance policies. I'm doing this because that's what I am passionate about, not because I'm trying to make another dollar off of you. But this business that I have started, Truth-Based Wealth, is to tell you the truth about how to grow your wealth, about the corruption in the financial industry out there, and what they're doing to make more money off of you. I'm going to be teaching you how you can keep more money for yourself, how you can make more money for yourself, so that you and I can go along this journey together and become financially free. I'm not there yet, but I am on my way, and I am learning from all the other people that have gotten there themselves, that have used this infinite banking concept themselves to become free from that system. So join me and become free people with this system. And it's because that I am passionate about this, and I am using this myself, this system myself, this concept myself, and I'm using these whole life insurance policies myself. That is why I have positioned myself to be able to help you obtain these whole life insurance policies. And if you don't want to use a whole life insurance policy right away, or you're not able to right away, and in fact, I'm going to, when you and I sit down to talk with each other, to figure out what are your needs when it comes to your money, with your finances. Where are you at with your finances? Where do you need to go? I am going to be here to help you along with that journey, whether you're starting from zero or even negative because you are in tons of debt and your bills are more than what you're making, or you're not even making any money. I will help you from that point to move forward wherever that needs to go, wherever you need to go, and we'll teach you along the way all the things that I've been learning and implementing in my life. And if I don't think a whole life insurance policy is right for you at that time, then I'm not going to try to set you up with a life insurance policy just so I can make another dollar. I'm going to provide you that opportunity to make that decision for yourself, whether you need a whole life insurance policy or not, because those policies, just like myself, is going to benefit you. The policies that I have benefit myself, and I want the policies that you have to benefit yourself. And if it's not going to benefit yourself, then I don't want you to have it. But if you are ready and you see the need, and you've done the research yourself, and you've learned all the great benefits that you can get through these life insurance policies, these specifically designed whole life insurance policies, when you are ready to start a policy on yourself, then you can come to me and I can help you set that up for yourself. We'll design it for exactly your needs to get what you need out of it. If you think the same way I do, if you believe in the same things I do about the direction that this economy, this country, this world is going in, you don't trust the government, you don't trust the banks, you want to know the truth of what's happening out there in the world, and you want to understand the truth in the financial industry and learn the lies and the corruption that has been taught to us for generations now, then continue to follow me and join me in my journey on becoming financially free. I want to help you out just as much as I'm helping myself out. So come along with me in this journey, and thank you for listening. This has been Corey with Truth-Based Wealth. Thanks for learning with me.